First day I walked into Harrington Estate, I knew exactly what I looked like to them, a maid in a grey sweater and beat-up sneakers, standing on floors polished enough to see my own doubt staring back. The head butler, Grayson, handed me a cleaning schedule without looking me in the eye, told me Clara, the 7-year-old in the West Wing, was none of my concern, and walked off like I was already a problem to be solved. 2 maids passed me in the hall, one whispering, "She'll be gone by next week." Yeah, that happened. By breakfast, I'd been weighed, measured, and found entertaining, apparently. Cheryl, the kind of woman who smiles with her teeth but cuts with her tongue, said loud enough for me to hear, "Who shops at a thrift store for their first day?" The table laughed. I kept eating eggs. In the laundry room, young Tim leaned against the dryer like he owned the place, told me, "This is for people who know their place," and waited for me to flinch. I just folded another sheet, fingers brushing a worn photo in my pocket, a little girl mid-cartwheel, and kept going. First time I saw Clara, she was by the window, Nurse Denise tucking a blanket over her legs. The second I stepped in, her smile shut off, and Denise gave me a look that translated to, "Keep moving." So I did, but I caught Clara watching me from the corner of her eye. A few days later, I dropped my rag in the hallway, bent to pick it up in one smooth spin, old gymnastics habit, and when I stood, Clara was staring like I'd just shown her a trick no one told her existed. "Movement can be a game," I said, soft. She didn't answer, but she didn't look away either. That little spark must have gotten out, because next morning Maxwell Harrington himself found me in the library. Tall, sharp suit, voice colder than the marble under our feet. "Don't give her false hope. The best doctors in the world have seen her." I nodded, but something in me refused to shrink. That evening in the garden room, Clara sat eyeing a rubber ball. I picked it up, balanced it on my foot for a second, let it drop. "Game I used to play." She hesitated, then lifted her foot an inch off the rest. Trembling, but it moved. I smiled, told her, "Good job." Denise didn't think so. She stormed into the staff room next day, accusing me of risking Clara's health. By lunch, Grayson handed me my termination notice. I asked to stay till nightfall. Clara cried when she heard. I don't want her to leave, and I promised her I'd be there tonight. That night, I played piano in the living room, a song her mother used to sing. Clara wheeled closer, then stood. Legs shaking, breath short, a step, then another, toward me. Maxwell appeared at the top of the stairs, frozen. Denise ran in yelling, but Clara's voice cut through. "Daddy, I want to go to her." Then Sarah, the quiet maid no one noticed, stepped forward with her phone. "I recorded it," she said, voice trembling but firm. The clip hit the staff chat before Denise could catch her breath. By morning, Denise was gone. The same people who mocked me now couldn't meet my eyes. That's when an old retired butler told Maxwell I was the orphan his late wife had sponsored, the gymnast she'd once said would change someone's life. That afternoon, Maxwell called me in, slid a contract across the desk. Not as a maid. As Clara's coach. I shook his hand, stepped outside to find Clara waiting, her wheelchair pushed to the side, arms open. From there, the house shifted. Cheryl's gossip dried up after her own old posts went viral. Greg, the security guy, got fired for slacking. And me? I was in the garden room, teaching Clara to balance a ball on her finger, her laugh mixing with mine. Her steps are still small, still shaky, but they are hers. She dropped the ball one afternoon and, without waiting for me, bent to pick it up herself. I clapped once, big smile. She laughed, bright and sure. One evening, we sat by the lake, blanket over her shoulders, the water catching the last light. She asked if I was ever scared to move. I told her, every time I stepped onto a mat, but I did it anyway. She nodded, holding a little flower tighter. Maxwell stood in the shadows, hands in his pockets, watching, shoulders eased in a way I hadn't seen before. Now when I walk through the house, people step aside not out of fear, but something closer to respect. Clara's progress is slow, but it's steady. Every day she believes a little more, not because I tell her she can, but because she's already doing it. And here's the thing, sometimes life decides you don't belong before you've even opened your mouth, but you keep showing up, you keep moving, and one day, the truth walks into the room on its own 2 feet. So tell me, was I right to push her, to go against the rules, to give her that inch of hope? Or was everyone else right to keep me out of it? I know where I stand, but I'm curious where you do. Drop your thoughts below, let's see where this goes. First day I walked into Harrington Estate, I knew exactly what I looked like to them, a maid in a grey sweater and beat-up sneakers, standing on floors polished enough to see my own doubt staring back. The head butler, Grayson, handed me a cleaning schedule without looking me in the eye, told me Clara, the 7-year-old in the West Wing, was none of my concern, and walked off like I was already a problem to be solved. 2 maids passed me in the hall, one whispering, "She'll be gone by next week." Yeah, that happened. By breakfast, I'd been weighed, measured, and found entertaining, apparently.